Welcome to the Lose Your Big Ass Stomach podcast. I'm your host, Jay Jackson, and my mission here is to help you get rid of that big ass stomach and take back control of your health so that you can look and feel your best by being the best version of yourself, mentally and physically, while destroying the mediocre agenda society is trying to brainwash you into, and breaking our families' generational curses of being unhealthy by being a healthy and fit role model. It's time to set a new standard. It's time to set a new standard of living. If you find the podcast helpful, be sure to hit that follow button because that helps us build a movement. Let's go. If you've been eating healthy, but you notice that you're still not losing weight, you're still not seeing the belly fat slimming down the way you want it to, in this podcast, I'm going to break down with you exactly how to fix that issue, okay? If you've been eating the chicken and broccoli, if you've been eating the salads, you've been drinking the water, you're like, man, it's still not coming out the way I want it to. My clothes still don't fit the way I want it to. I'm going to show you how to fix that, okay? Because I've been coaching over 16 years now, and this is by far one of the biggest issues that I see a lot of people run into when they're trying to slim down their waistline. They're eating healthy, they're working out, they're cutting back on eating junk food, they're cutting back on alcohol and sweets, yet the belly fat not going down. And so there's a couple of things you want to pay attention to. The first thing is this. You got to realize that all calories are not created equal. Okay? All calories are not created equal. Now, most people, they think that all they need to do is just eat less, move more. That's what most people think they need to do. And this is why a lot of people have a hard time losing weight, because they're doing it, but they're not seeing the results via how their clothes fit or how their body looks when they take their clothes off. And so, if you notice that you're doing these things and you're not seeing the results that you want to, there's something that you got to fix within this. Because if you're eating healthy, but you're overeating on healthy food, you're not going to lose the weight. You're not. Okay? You could be eating all the right foods. Like, I always bring up this example, and I know a lot of vegans and vegetarians, and he talking about me. But here's the thing. If you are eating healthy as a vegan, there's vegans all over the place out here, morbidly obese, overweight. We all know somebody who's a vegan warrior or a vegetarian, still overweight. And that happens because they are not consuming the right amount of food, okay? And so the first tip is understanding energy management. Most people just focus on being health conscious, but not energy conscious. Like if you're gaining a lot of weight, if you notice that you have a lot of excess belly fat around your waistline, you are consuming energy in excess, okay? And so if you consume energy in excess, it gets stored in our body as fat. That's what happens, guys, okay? If you overeat on even healthy food, salads, like as healthy as most people feel like salads are, if you overconsume on salads, you're going to have a hard time losing weight and belly fat, okay? Even if you're doing the cardio, even if you're lifting weights, even if you're active, most people start to default. They're like, oh, maybe I'm not doing enough crunches. Oh, maybe I'm not doing enough cardio. And that's not the issue. Because ask yourself, have you been putting in the work? Most of the people I help, they've been putting in the work. So they expect the results. But they're not seeing the results because they're not aware of their energy intake. And so this is why calorie intake is critical, guys. It's not just being said just to be said. It's being said that way you can start to manage not just your physical and mental energy, but your weight. Okay? That's the first thing you want to focus on. Not just eating healthy, but also being aware of how much you're eating. Energy management. Okay? Because if you undereat, even on healthy food, what happens? You feel like you're starving. You start to have brain fog. You start to feel tired. Even myself, guys. Like I notice if I wait too long, like let's say I'm just locked in, I'm grinding, and this happens from time to time. Cause I'm a workaholic. If you like me, you're a workaholic. And you just work. Before you know it, the whole day over with, and you only ate 1 or 2 meals. You're like, dang, no wonder I'm starving. And this is what happens to me every now and then because my energy level just tanks. in the middle of the day because I'm not eating enough. Okay, if you don't eat enough of the healthy food, your energy level is going to drop, both physically and mentally. And so it's important to have that balance, that sweet spot of you're dropping weight, you're leaning out, but you still have energy physically and mentally. That way you can perform in your career, but you can also still have the mental energy and physical energy to enjoy time with your family. Because if you like me, you want to show up as your best self for the people you love and care about too. You want to show up for your team and your career also. You don't want to be the person who's like slipping. Everybody else looking at you like, hey, you got to start holding your weight. You know what I'm saying? And so, you want to be able to excel in your career. And so you got to have energy to do that. Energy is confidence, guys. If you don't have energy, you're not going to feel motivated to do anything. You're not going to have that confidence and that like get up and go if you don't have energy. And so it's very important that you are mindful, not just on eating healthy food, but how much of this healthy food are you eating? That's energy. That's calorie intake. That's the first thing. Second thing is this. All food is not created equal. Meaning, if you're eating a lot of processed healthy food, meaning you're going to Chipotle every day, you're going to Chick-fil-A every day, you're going to Moe's and all these other they're like somewhat health conscious places that you can eat at, but there's still a lot of processed food there. And this processed food is fast food, but if you eat it all the time, the calories really start to add up. Like you can eat the same meal at Chipotle or Moe's or Kava, it could easily have 800 to 1,000 calories in it. But if you eat that meal at home and you cook it, you know the ingredients, you know what seasonings are in there, you know how much butter or oil, healthy oils are in there, you know exactly what's in there. And you can control the calories. And so that way you can lean out way easier, way faster, eating the same food, just better quality. Okay? And our body, it extracts that nutrients more efficiently. Like if we're putting a lot of processed food in our body, this is how folks end up with high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, sleep apnea. These are the types of things that happen and the health issues that come about from lifestyle related issues. A lifestyle of eating fast food, processed food all the time can lead to these health issues. And so you have to shift from the I'm too busy to shifting to let me prepare ahead of time. Let me go ahead and have a meal or two prepared for the next day. You don't have to prepare like a bodybuilder. Sometimes it's just 1 or 2 meals that you may need to prepare. That way you're ahead of the game. Or if you're like me, you use Instacart or Uber Eats to get your food delivered to your home. That way you don't have to spend 30, 45 minutes or an hour going to the grocery store, shopping, then coming back home, then, having to unpack all the food and then put it up. That's a lot of time. And so all my busy folks out there, you like, man, I just can't find the time. You buy the time. You buy your time back. Why are you successful? Why do you make all this money just to say you busy? Money is just a tool to buy you back time, give you back freedom. Your money is supposed to work for you, not just sit in your bank account, not just sit in your wealth portfolio. Make the money work for you. And so that you're not just working for the money, finding your body more out of shape. You're not happy about how your body's looking. There's plenty of people who are just grinding. They just have this identity of, I got to make money. I got to stack all this money up. I got to build all this wealth. Yet they're losing their health. They're losing the health game. They're winning in the money game, but when it comes to their body and their health, losing. Heart issues, strokes. I'm talking about folks in their 30s, not even in their 40s and 50s, have sleep apnea because they're 30, 50, 100 pounds overweight. Erectile dysfunction issues in their 30s. Guys, that is not... I was talking to a young lady the other day. She was in her 50s, And she had high blood pressure, and the doctor was getting ready to put her on type 2 diabetic meds. And no, she was actually already type 2 diabetic. And she just said it so nonchalant. I was like, you don't realize how bad of a situation you in? Like, this is not good. Like, you got to make some changes, or else things are going to get worse. And sometimes people can get so caught up into just making money and pushing the envelope in their career to try to accomplish and achieve more. And it's really like a coping mechanism to make them feel good about themselves. But in reality, they're not solving the root issue, the root problem. The root problem is you're not happy with yourself. The root problem is these people, they're not taking care of themselves. And so they're trying to find ways to escape their reality. A lot of successful people, they can use money and, building wealth to escape them taking care of themselves. Escape the health issues. They try to find value and meaning in just making more and more money and wealth. But what does all that mean if you land on the hospital bed? What does all that mean if your kids and your family, they don't love and care about you? They're not even, they don't admire you. They're not inspired by you. They don't even really care to talk to you because you're so tired. Because you put so much time and energy into working, but not being the example for the people that love and care about you. You see these people, they build all this wealth, they make all this money, and they lonely. They have all these mental health issues, and they just don't have anybody around to really just enjoy the wealth that they've built. Because they haven't been taking care of their body. So they don't have the energy to get out and enjoy time with family and friends and really have a good social life. Or they may not have the confidence to get out and enjoy, family and having a social life. This is what this really is about. It's not about just losing belly fat. It's not just about having a flat stomach or having abs. This is about having a higher quality of life. This is why what I promote is lifestyle. If you want to look good, lose weight, and keep the results, it's got to be a lifestyle. You got to shift from being goal focused to lifestyle focused. From being, I just want to lose this little bit of weight, to I want to never have to have this issue with not being happy about how my clothes fit ever again. I want to be proud about how I'm looking and how I'm feeling year round. If you like me, you want to look good and feel good year round. And so don't just focus on calories. Focus on the quality of foods that you eat. Don't just focus on being healthy. Focus on energy management. You got to know how much you're eating, guys. And the right quality of food. Okay? That way you feel well. Then the last thing is structure. I know there's a lot of people out there who you may like to eat 3 meals a day. You may like to eat 2 meals a day. And we live in this society where people try to demonize people who eat 3 meals, then the other people who eat 2 meals. Like, oh, that's not right. You're supposed to eat 7 meals a day. You're supposed to eat 6 meals a day. That's what most people say. But successful people realize you got to do what works the best for you. Some people, all they need to eat is 2 meals and maybe 1 or 2 snacks. Then other people, they may need to eat 3 meals and maybe 1 or 2 snacks, or no snacks at all. And so there has to be some strategy that fits your lifestyle. There has to be some strategy that fits the way that you want to live your life. That way you don't have to sacrifice work. That way you don't have to sacrifice family. That way you don't have to sacrifice your social life because your baby having a birthday and you can't eat a cupcake. Or you have a late meeting, a business meeting, but you can't drink a glass of wine. Or you can't have a steak with some french fries on the side. Guys, you can do all those things and lose weight when you have the right strategy, when you have the right structure, when you're aware of not just calorie intake, but quality of food, foods that are dense with nutrition. Not just focus on calories, but focusing on energy management. Because you can eat 300 calories of candy or 300 calories of a bagel in the morning versus 300 calories of an omelet with some fresh fruit. The person one who has the bagel, they're gonna feel like trash. They're gonna have low energy. They're gonna have the energy crashes. They're gonna have the sugar cravings later in the evening. But the person who eats the omelet with the fresh fruit, regulated blood sugar, they feel good all day long, physically and mentally sharp, mentally focused. This is why it's important to pay attention to the quality of the foods that you're eating. Alright? And so once you start making these shifts, I'm telling you, you can go from having a belly fat to having a six-pack, or belly fat to having a flat stomach in record time. Alright? These are things that my coaching clients are doing in a matter of 6 to 12 months. 6 months, I'm talking dropping 40, 50, 60 pounds. And so if those type of results are things that you want, start using the things that I just shared with you, and you'll start seeing the results. So with that said, we're out of here. Let's get it. Yo, appreciate you for tapping in and listening to the podcast episode today. Hopefully you found it valuable, and if you did and you want to learn more about how I can help you lose the big ass stomach, transform your body, and get your health on point, DM me real results over on Instagram at JJacksonOfficial for more information. And I'll reach back out to you to do what I can to help you hit those health and fitness goals. Let's get it.